Ivan Ang, and I'm here with a very special friend of mine. Her name is Bethany Connor, and Bethany is someone that I met just recently over in Florida when I was over there at the John Maxwell Team Live Training. And it just so happened that we caught up with each other in the hallway when we were coming back from one of the sessions, and we ended up having a great chat. It was it was so enjoyable in terms of catching up with her and finding out about her background and the things that she's been up to, the book that she's written, and I'll get her to share a little bit about that. But I want to just give Bethany a quick opportunity to say hello and just give a short introduction, Bethany, if you don't mind, just about who you are, where you're from, and just.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Ivan, for allowing me to connect with you today. And it's so awesome that you're over in Australia and I'm here in San Antonio, Texas, and it's like we're right next to each other. I'm actually from Massachusetts, but I'm in the military, so I'm stationed in San Antonio right now. I've been an Army nurse for about 17 years. And absolutely love it. I'm also a speaker and a facilitator and a life coach, and I love doing that as well. And I feel very passionate about leadership. I feel like my passion is to awaken authentic leaders.
Wow, that's a great. There's so many aspects of what you just said that I love to just get deeper into. So tell me about your nursing. How did you get into that in the first place?
Well, my mom is a nurse, and so I feel like she was kind of the role model and the catalyst for me wanting to go in that direction with my life. She was always helping other people, and I really had a passion for helping other people as well. So I felt a calling to go into the nursing field, and then doing nursing in the military has just been so rewarding because I'm able to serve my country and help patients at the same time.
Yeah, well, I could share with you that you're the very first person who has been in the Army or in the military that I've interviewed. So I feel very honoured for you to spend your time with us and with the audience tonight. So I just wanted to quickly just ask you a question. So how did you go from? Did you start nursing then go into the Army? I'm assuming that would be the case. And how did that come about?
I did. I joined. Well, first I went to college, and it was probably my sophomore year in college. I got something in the mail from a recruiter, and they offered me this lucrative $500 a month, which as a college kid, I was like, $500 a month, that's great. And all I had to do was join the Army when I got out of school. So, and plus there was a bonus too. And so I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I could travel the world. I could get experience as a nurse. What the heck? I think I'll join the Army. So 17 years ago, I joined the Army just for the heck of it, just to travel the world and get experience. And I have absolutely loved it.
Tell me about what's been the most interesting place that you've been to.
I think every place is what you make of it, and I loved living in Europe. It was really neat being able to just go to Paris for the weekend, or go down to Austria, or go to Poland, or Mallorca, Spain.
Wow.
So I loved traveling, but gosh, I don't know that I have a favorite place because I've been to Korea, I've been to Hawaii, I've just been all over the world, and I've loved every assignment that I've had.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So now you've made the transition into leadership coaching and training and speaking, and I know you've just written a book as well. But before we go into the book, just let me know. So why that move? Why that shift? I guess into leadership training and coaching. I know you love helping people, but why leadership?
Yeah. So this is the interesting thing, because I got involved with life coaching because I wanted to learn to ask better questions. In the military, like from day one when I joined the military, I became a leader. As an officer in the military, it's just expected that you're a leader. And so the leadership opportunities that I've had in the military as I've moved up in rank and experience and gotten new job positions as I've traveled the world, I I feel like I have been able to have leadership experiences that aren't even rivaled on the civilian side, and I've been able to have those experiences for 17 years. So if I was a nurse on the civilian side, it would take years for me to be a charge nurse and be a head nurse on the units. But I did those things probably 6 months to a year into being an Army nurse. And that's kind of expected. Leadership is expected, and we develop and mentor one another. And that's one of my passions, is mentoring and developing the officers that I work with. And I wanted to learn to ask better questions. As an officer, I love telling people what to do. I like to tell them the answers because I feel like I have this life experience. I know the answers. Let me tell you how it is. And I started to learn as I grew as a leader that that's not the best way to lead, that it's more powerful as a leader to ask questions and draw the answers out from my officers. So I actually got started with the whole life coaching process so I could learn to ask better questions and apply it to my job as an Army officer.
Now, I just wanted to go back to something you mentioned before, Bethany. I think it's a very, very good point that you raised. Not as many people that I've come across actually understand the difference between mentoring, which is telling them and showing them how to do and what to do, as you were saying before, that you were really good at, as compared to coaching. And that's really us asking us as coaches, I should say, asking the right questions to be able to draw out the right responses from the people that we're trying to help. Because so tell me a little bit more about that. What do you think is the benefit of you helping leaders through a coaching mentality as opposed to a mentoring mentality?
Well, this has been the fascinating thing, and what I found in the military is, as an officer, I can tell someone what to do. I can order them, and they'll do it, but they'll be compliant. And when I allow them to come up with the solution, when I tell them this is the end goal, these are the parameters, you come up with the how and what that looks like, then they have ownership, and then they're committed to the outcome. And so that's in the military and in the leadership position I'm doing there. I feel like that's where I can empower the officers that I work with to become a part of the solution, and not just get them to be compliant with what we're asking, but to be committed to the outcome and to have that shared vision. And I think that's really huge. And if I translated that to the civilian side and just working with my coaching clients as well, it's allowing them to come up with the solutions. Because I used to think there was one right way, and that was my way. But I've learned that there's actually an infinite number of ways to get any one thing done, and there's not necessarily a right way. In fact, by me empowering the people that I work with and allowing them to make mistakes and try something and have it not work and then try something else, they get to learn in the process. So if I just tell them the answer, even though I already know it, it's not helping them to grow. Now, if someone is just had a heart attack and they need CPR, that's not a time for me to ask people to think about what they're feeling. I'll direct them and tell them what to do. But if it's something that it's not a life or death situation, then I can help to grow and empower them to be a part of the solution.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point in terms of what you just mentioned there. There's the right time for learning to take place as opposed to action, right? And the thing is that often if you wait too long for learning or growth, as you mentioned, I love that word, the growth and learning to occur. If you don't allow time, I should say, if you don't allow time for that to occur, when the time that's required for action to take place, it may well be too late. You may have missed the boat, or you may have not invested in yourself beforehand. And you've highlighted such a great example. When you with CPR, that immediate action that is required. Right? If you don't learn the process beforehand, you're not going to be able. You're actually going to probably end up doing more damage than not.
Absolutely, and that's where the practice comes in. And so we get recertified in CPR, every 2 years, and we practice it even though we may not use it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So tell me. So the thing is that's that lead into leadership, I guess, for you now is for you to be able to learn how to ask better questions, and I love that. That's so beautiful. So tell me a little bit about the clientele. I know you wrote a special book, and there is a special group of people, I should say, not clients, just people in general that you want to impact. So tell us a little bit more about your book, and tell us about the people that you would like to make a difference to.
Okay. My book is about my journey to authenticity. That's what I like to call it. It's probably occurred, I would say, over the past 4 years. I went through a period in my life where I got to do a lot of self-evaluation. I have been very successful in my Army career, and I had it all together. I knew exactly what to say, how to act, what was expected of an Army officer, and I am an Army officer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the Army was my life. That is how I defined myself. It defined who I was. And about 2 years ago, I had a conversation with one of my friends, and he said to me, "Your job as an Army nurse is what you do. It's not who you are."
Mm.
And that was the most profound thing I had ever heard. I was like, "What do you mean it's not who I am? Of course it's who I am. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Connor, Army Nurse Corps officer. That's my life. That's what I do. And I define myself by my job." And so as I started thinking about that more and more, I'm like, if that's true, then who in the world am I? Because I had defined myself for so long by being an Army officer and being an Army nurse that I didn't even know who I was. And so I really had to dig deep and look inside and see who I really was. And I think I had compartmentalized my life. So there was the Army Bethany, well, the Army Lieutenant Colonel Connor, and then there was Bethany, but I was only allowed to be myself at certain times, in certain settings. And there was kind of I felt like I was wearing masks, that there was two of me. And how could I be Lieutenant Colonel Connor and be Bethany and have that be okay? And so I had to struggle through that process to get to where I am now, whereas I feel like I am my authentic self, that I can be in uniform and be Bethany and have that be okay. And wow. I don't have to wear masks. I don't have to make like I'm all tough and maintain my military bearing at all times. Like I'm not allowed to cry. Not that I go at work and cry, but sometimes when you're with patients, there's times that it's appropriate to cry. There's times when I was deployed downrange where we lost soldiers, and it's okay. It's okay to get choked up. It's okay to be sad that happened. And before, I think I kind of numbed that and just tried to ignore it. But now I'm understanding the importance of being an authentic leader and creating that space for other people to be their authentic selves and still be a leader.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. The thing is that the term that I come across quite regularly, and I'm sure that you do as well, is just being real, real to people. And you and I both being members of the John Maxwell team, there's a wonderful program that we have access to called How to Be a Real Success. How to be a real success. And it talks about that acronym REAL being relationships, equipping, attitude, and leadership. And I find that to be the key to really finding out that authentic self and how to be really successful, even not defined by, as you said, titles in your case, in terms of how high-ranking a title you are. Or in my world, where I come from a finance background, where a lot of people define themselves. They define themselves in accordance with how much money they have in their bank account. So I guess that for me, it's a wonderful program for people to embark upon in terms of how to improve on their relationships, how to actually make sure that they're equipping others, how do you have the right attitude at all times, And finally, the passion in our respective lives, both yourself, Bethany, and myself, is how to actually help them become better leaders. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is very much closely aligned to what you're talking about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you better share with us what's the title of the book. I know that you showed me a cover, a beautiful cover of what it was going to look like, but you weren't quite set on it at that particular point in time. We were talking about it back in February this year. So
Yes.
have you finalized what the cover's going to look like and what
Oh
the
yeah.
the book's going to be?
I don't actually have a copy of it right within reach right now, but yes, I do. The book is called Cherished: One Woman's Journey to Love and Be Loved. And really, it's all about me learning to love myself and let myself be loved by God.
Great. And how can people get access to it?
Well, it actually goes to the printers this week. So we'll be releasing it, I believe, in July, the beginning of July, and I'll be doing pre-orders in June. So if anyone wants to get connected with me on my Facebook page, it's Bethany L. Connor, Connor, and I will be posting updates to the Facebook page on how you can pre-order it and how to get connected with me. And my website should be up and coming soon too, and I'll be posting that to the Facebook page as soon as it's up. So would love to be connected with everyone.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I thoroughly encourage people to get a copy of it, please. If there was anything as good as the cover that I saw and the discussion I had with Bethany about it, I think it's going to be absolutely a sensational read. And I know Bethany, even from the very short time that we've known each other, that she shares from her heart. And I think that whenever you actually get someone who's in leadership or is teaching and coaching leadership, who shares from that heart and that authentic place, authentic self, I think that it just makes such a big difference as opposed to just the person that you see on stage who may be faking it till they make it.
Yeah. Well, and you had asked me earlier who my target audience is, and I would say it is professional women who look like they have it all together on the outside and are falling apart on the inside, because I did that for way too long, and that's kind of my journey. That's what the story's all about, and I give you keys to how I got through it and how you could get through that too. So that's my target audience.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's such. The thing is that I know that when you have an objective like that with a very, very clearly set out audience as to who you're trying to make an impact, there's people there just waiting for them to pick up that book or to hear your voice and be able to have that sewed into their lives to make a difference. Mm-hmm. Now, we could go all night, can't we? We can go all night in terms of our discussion, but I want to finish off as I normally do with all my special guests. I want to ask you this special question. I wanted to ask you, Bethany, have you thought about what is the legacy that you would like to be remembered for? What is it that you want to actually leave behind to the world or to your family, and be really remembered for that particular aspect of yourself?
That is such an awesome question, and I recently went through this process called the Deeper Path, and as a part of that process, I wrote out what I want my legacy to be. Would you be open to me reading that?
Absolutely, please go ahead.
That would be awesome. Okay. Imagine a tribe of transformational leaders who are passionate, proactive, self-aware mentors who cultivate and multiply a culture of empowerment and win-win. These leaders focus on relationship building and influence to achieve desired ends that are in alignment with their core values of themselves, their customers, their team members, and their organization. Character, integrity, and faith are the cornerstones from which they derive their purpose. Their passion is to continuously add value to others, and by doing so, continuously grow and refine their leadership capabilities. Imagine a cause built around creating, nurturing, and multiplying transformational leaders through development, empowerment, and and contribution. Imagine a safe and refreshing space that allows transformational leaders to marinate new ideas, grow themselves, and support one another. This space allows them to be refreshed and renewed so that they are able to give themselves away in the development and multiplication of the next generation of transformational leaders. That's the legacy that I'd like to leave.
Wow. Wow. Look, that is absolutely sensational, and to have you be able to share that with the world, and as I don't know who actually is going to be picking up on this or viewing this particular recording at some stage down the track, but that in itself, if that doesn't actually get you motivated to connect with Bethany, I don't know what is. So. So I just I don't want to go any further, because that was just a beautiful way to finish up. So any final remarks from you, Bethany, before we close off?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I've really enjoyed connecting with you, as I did in the middle of the hallway at the John Maxwell training, and however I can support you and your audience, I would love to connect with you all and add value to you any way I can. So thank you for your time tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and it's an absolute honor from my part in terms of being able to have this discussion with you, and for it to be shared with the world. So I just wanted to reiterate the offer to you, to the audience. So please, the book's called Cherish. If you want to actually get connected with Bethany, you might want to share that Facebook link yet again.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook. It's Bethany L. Connor, Connor, and I would love to connect with you.
Wonderful. And if you need to connect with me, obviously, please contact me at ivan.ang at 10xleadership.com.au, or alternatively, you can always reach me on my I was going to say mobile. You can't reach me on my mobile, but you can reach me on my other email address, which is ivanang@johnmaxwellgroup.com. ivanang@johnmaxwellgroup.com. Love to hear what your thoughts are on this particular session, and love to catch up with you with another special guest real soon. So have a good day.
Bye.